Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about molarity, solutions, and dilutions, okay? When we make a solution, okay, so if you remember, when we make a solution, we have a solute, which is what we are dissolving, and we need to add to this the solvent, okay? So there are, we use what's called big M, and this means molarity. And what this means, this big M means moles of solute per liter of solution, well, of solvent, okay? So basically we have moles per liter. And you're also going to write this as moles per liter, okay? This equals big M, okay? So the question is this. If I need to make a solution, let's say that I need a, let's say a 2.0 molar NaCl solution. And typically, unless you're told otherwise, when we talk about solutions, we're going to talk about everything being in water, okay? And we call water the universal solvent because it dissolves most compounds, right? So in this case, this means that I'm going to have 2.0 moles per liter of solution. So I need 2 moles of NaCl in 1 liter. So what I need to do, how do I figure out how many moles this is, okay? So, because we don't just put a mole into the solution. So I need to figure out, I've got 1 liter of solution. I need to figure out how many grams I need to add to this solution here. So in this case, I'm going to say for every 1 mole of NaCl, okay, I've got sodium. Okay, so if I look at sodium, the mass of sodium, let me get the periodic table here. All right. If we look at our periodic table, we see sodium right here. This is 22.990. So I'm going to write here 22.990 grams per mole. And this is sodium. And I know that I have chlorine. So if we look on our chart here, chlorine is 35.453. So I have 35.453 grams per mole. And this is chlorine. So my mass of this is going to be 15, 58.543 grams per mole. All right, so what this tells me, when we multiply this out, so we end up with 2 times 58.543. We're going to get 117, so this is 117.086 grams per liter. So that means I need to add, so I need to measure out, so I need 117.086 grams of sodium chloride, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, so you need 100, so you're going to measure this out. You're going to take this, you're going to go to the balance, triple beam balance. You're going to mass this out. So you need 117.086 grams. Now, you're going to add this to a flask. And usually what we want to use, the kind of flask that we're going to use is going to be called a volumetric one. And we'll show you what this is in the lab, okay? So you're going to use a volumetric flask. So add this to a volumetric flask. Then, oops, you can't see what I'm writing. Add water until you fill the flask to the 1 liter mark. Okay, and so basically what this is going to look like. Okay, you've got this flask, and I'm going to add the salt to the bottom, and this right here is going to be my 1 liter mark. Okay, now so I got my salt here in the bottom that I just added to the solution, and then I'm going to add the water to it, and I'm going to fill it up to this point right here. Okay, that's how you make the solution. I can't add my salt to 1 liter. I've got to fill this up with it. Okay, all right, so that's how you make the solution. So let's make one more. We'll do one more solution so you guys can see how to do this again, and then we'll go on to talking about the dilutions. So let's say that I want let's say I want to know, so what is the concentration of a solution that has 212.3 grams of Ag. I don't want to use silver. Let's go with why can't I think of something? Let's say MgCl2, some magnesium chloride, in, I'm going to make this a little bit more confusing for you. Let's go with 523 milliliters of water. So what is the concentration? Okay, so concentration equals big M, molarity, which is moles per liter. Okay, we have 212.3 grams, right? And this is of MgCl2. So the next step is I got to convert from grams to moles. Okay, all right. So I look over here. I know that magnesium is 24.305, and I'm going to add to that 2 chlorines. Okay, so we're going to say 24.305 plus 2 times 35.453. All right, so okay, so I'm going to get 95.211. Hopefully you all got that. All right, so I've got 95.211 grams of magnesium chloride for every 1 mole. And again, you guys, this is simple stoichiometry, but this is always going to be molar mass, and this is how we convert from grams to moles or from moles to grams. Okay, so we're going to get this answer here, and so I'm going to take 212, which was from the beginning equation, right? 212.3, and I'm going to divide this by 95.211. All right, and so that gives me that I have 2.22, I'm going to say 9, let's go a couple sig figs, 98. Okay, and this is moles. So now the next step, I need moles per liter. Well, I gave you that you have 523 milliliters, right? We got to convert this to liters. And so we know that for every 1,000 milliliters, that equals 1 liter. So I have 523 milliliters, and I know that for every 1,000 milliliters, I get 1 liter. So this is going to give me 0.523 liters. So now the next step, take moles per liter, and so I need to say 2.2298 moles over 0.523 liters. And so my molarity is going to be 2.2298 divided by 0.523. And I get that this is a 4 point, how many sig figs? We had 4 in the original. 263 molar, because again, we've got moles per liter, right? Molar, what is this? MgCl2 solution. Okay? All right, so that's how we would go. We have the other first problem where we had to convert from, what was it? We were given the molarity, and we wanted to figure out how to make the solution, so we figured out how many grams we needed to put into the solution there, okay? And then we've got this problem where we're given a mass and a volume, and we need to figure out what is the concentration of the solution, okay? All right, and so then the last thing we need to talk about is what happens if I have let's say I have a 5.3 molar sodium chloride solution, and I want to make, let's say I want to make a 1.2 liters of a 2.1 molar NaCl solution. So this is right here is my stock solution. Okay, so this is my stock solution, and I'm going to make a dilution from this to get this solution here. Okay, so when we do this, we have an equation. This is M1 V1 equals M2 V2. Okay, now this right here is very similar to Boyle's law, right, which was P1 V1 equals P2 V2. So you guys already know how to manipulate this. All you have to look at is what are we starting with and what are we given. So in this case, our stock solution, so our M1, molarity 1, is 5.3. So this right here is M1. And always start these problems, identify what you know. This is M1, right? Now, we don't know V1, but we know that we want to make a 1.2 liters, so that's my V2, from a we need to make 1.2 liters of a 2.1 molar solution. So this is going to be my M2, okay? So we're trying to look for V1. So we need to know how much of this solution we need to pull out and then dilute, okay? So what we're going to do is we're saying that we've got 5.3 molar, and this is V1, and this is going to be 2.1 molar times 1.2 liters, okay? So now I need to divide both sides by 5.3 molar, and so you can see this is going to cancel, this is going to cancel, and so V1 is going to equal, so we're going to say 2.1 times 1.2 and divide that by 5.3. All right, and so we get 0.475, so we're going to round this to 0.48, okay? And this is liters, because remember, if we look up here, molarity cancels out, so we're left with units of liters, okay? So what we need, and this is how you make the dilution, okay? So I need 0.48 liters of the 5.3 molar solution. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out of my 5.3 molar solution. So here I've got this is my 5.3 molar solution. Okay, I need to take out of here, so I'm going to take out of here 0.48 liters. Okay, and so I'm going to put this into my second flask. So here I've got, this is my 0.48 liters of, you can't see that, 5.3 molar NaCl. Right? Now what do I need to do? Well, now I need to add this up until I get to a total volume of 1.2 liters. So what am I going to add to this? I'm just going to add water, right? Because we're making a dilution. And so we want to add water. Well, how much water do we need to add? So you're going to take 1.2 liters and you're going to subtract from that the 0.48 liters. And that's how much water you need to add to this solution in order to get your dilution. Okay? All right, these are very simple. We'll probably have another little podcast where we will go through a few more problems for you.